What's up, everybody? How we doing? We're gonna go a little Frankie Sinatra here to start the morning off right. I am your host, as always, here, friendly police officer, policing pips, ready for duty. We are gonna be kind of opening right exactly where we opened yesterday here on the NQ. So we're gonna just wait and see what goes on. I did hammer a idea in on the 100K that's kind of just lingering around even right now. I want to see if we can get the open to sell off quickly. We are opening on our overnight highs, kind of getting that set up right here, right now. So if I do take anything live, it's going to be over here, right here in your face at the 50K copiers. I have a few. Hopefully everybody made some good money yesterday. We were pretty quick with what we did. We were very patient. We waited for our levels. We're opening on our overnight highs. Usually when we get that, it gives us a little bit of something to work with for the open. But right now we're kind of just continuing straight up. So I'm going to get out of that 100K idea right there. We are going to see if NVIDIA is going to roll. Looks like it's trying to sell through that low of the day pre-market. Yesterday, it's kind of opening right on yesterday's lows. So if it does open and go lower, then this idea here of the wick of the high, rotate down, could be in play. So good morning, everybody over there. Good morning. Let us do not dumb shit today. That's the goal, right? No dumb shit. Don't do dumb shit. Stick to your plans. Let everything play out. And we will see if we can make some good money. Quick, easy, and be done for the day. Move on. We're on a nice little green streak here on the stream. Every day that we've streamed in the month of July, we have been green. So if you just stick to your plan, stick to your levels, you'll be just fine. You can see S&P is not quite breaking through that previous high there, and the NQ is still ripping right upside. So we do have some, the previous day, not last session's high, but the previous day high before that is 298. So it's right there. We may get this sell right on the open. So let's wait and see. And if we get it, we may just hit right into it. I just want to see what happens with that open, okay? I'm going to let that 100K kind of do its thing if I can. I'm going to try and hit this if I can right off the jump. I'm going to sell this. I'm selling it right off the jump. There we go. We are filled. Hopefully it can get down deeper. I'm going to risk the top of this. It didn't go fast enough. There we go. Come on. Sell off. Sell through that low. I tend to find when it opens on these highs that we could get this immediate sell-off right off the bat, catch our little move, and then carry on. So we're going to go ahead and secure it there at 140, right below that low. The 100K is triggered in as well. I'm working on trying to do both at the same time. It's not as easy as it looks to do both at the same time. The 100K is actually leveraged into 2 contracts now. I shorted through the low, so now we are over here. I'm going to switch over to the screen because I got stopped out on that on there, but we're going to go nice and clean here on that 100K account. See how much we could roll it over, and we're out somehow just basically even because I did lose a 200 banger before. So trades there. You can see we made 240 on that, and now it's pushing upside. So now we're going to be a little patient. A little bit of Frank Sinatra to get us started. I did it my way, baby, because that's how I do right off the jump there. So we did a nice quick short right there. If you took it, you could have made a nice quick 200 on that. Tilt is 55%. See if we can get up over that again. The opening range is a little wide here, so we're going to be watching it. We're up 122 so far on the day. Nice quick little 120 bucks. Could have made a little more, but I wanted to see if that thing would go down a bit more. There you go, Scrooge. Good job. I like it. Maybe we'll go with a little more Frankie Sinatra to get ourselves going today. Nvidia wicked that low at 111.09 and is kind of grabbing some liquidity and pushing upside. So that's going to give us a little bit of dancing around, I think, here on this. So I'm going to be a little patient on it. I know I could go a little aggressive and take it again, but no, this is terrible. What is this? That is not correct. Let's go with a little bit of that right there. Everybody green right off the open. You got to be, like I said, when we take those, when we open right on that overnight high and we're still in a downtrend, we're looking for sell side pressure, also looking to stay inside of kind of a range. You want to kind of be aggressive off that jump right there. You open on the overnight high, there's going to be a good likelihood that they're going to want to sell off right into market open. That's kind of just like clockwork. It seems like it works almost every time. So I'm going to be watching this. If this tilt can get a heavier long and I can get S&P to pull back some, then maybe this overnight high, if we can get over 300, it would be really nice. Because then I could say, okay, we failed that breakup. But there's the heavy, it's getting a little whippy, right? A little bit of whip action. I wouldn't hate it again if we can get... So NVIDIA's bidding up. I want to get over 300 first. And if it can get up over that, then we can get that failed 300. If not, then it's fine. I'm still going to try it one more time here. Let it roll over on me. It's like it got right into 300. There's a bidder right there at 41. 41 lot there at 300, so maybe it'll draw into there and then sell off. It seems like it wants to not get up over that opening range high, so I'm going to take the short through the overnight high, see if I can rotate back down once more. That should go faster than that. Let's go downside. Come on now. A little bit more. There we go. I'm going to go even on it, so now I'm even. I'm going to let this thing either stop me out or run over all the way down. There we go. Oh, yeah. Another 160 secured. Let's see if we can get a little more out of it. Nope. All right. We're up 279. Copy traded 2 times. And it's only not even 4 minutes into the market session. So if you've made some money so far this morning, please don't hesitate to let us know. Scott's up 700 times 2. Carlos is green. Scrooge is up 142. We got a lot of green on the board here on a great Tuesday morning. Like I said, I'm quick with my trails. I'm getting rid of my risk quick around my levels. I want this to go fast. I got Frank Sinatra in the background. We got everything going as we would like it to be. I'm going to just maybe play this level until it doesn't want to give it. I would love to see us, like I said, get up into that 300 area, start to squeeze up. If we can get up into the previous day high, that's another great area for a short. So, anything in between that 300 and at 19,377, you should just avoid executing, right? Because that's between the previous day high and the day before that high. So Friday's high and Monday's high. Free us up 188 on the account. Very beautiful. Lots of green on the screens here in the Policing Pips chat room. I like to see it. Love to see it. Gotta love it. So now we just kind of sit on our hands, right? We've built that good little first trade, hit it out, got our setup immediately. Now you got to wait, see if something will set up, right? This doesn't appear to be wanting to reject again, right? You can see the wicks, the liquidity is trying to grab there. Right now, it seems like it wants to push and pressure 300. If it can pressure 300, probably squeezes up a bit. You can see the S&Ps is relatively strong compared. And we've noticed that in the past when that happens, this week, last week, that the NQ will either follow or drag it the other way. So if NQ starts to dump off and the S&P could get below this blue line and hold, then you can have a short on the S&P if that's how you want to roll it. Because right now, NQ, the S&P is a little bit relatively strong, right? We don't want to play. We're playing relative strength and weakness here against each other. I think if you can get this up into the green line and you're still down on these lows, then the rejection of the green on the S&P is 55.25 could lead to some selling. If NQ tries to catch up, then this may linger around its overnight previous day high while NQ catches up to that previous day high. So watch for those little divergences. It could lead you to some good opportunity. I don't need big moves for my ideas to play out, right? I want to play in areas where I know I can get really good follow through, right? This could have followed through really, really well. We could have made really good money on that 100K. We made a nice little 250 on that move and then got stopped out. It's fine, right? I'm very good with how that worked out. And then this one as well, right? We just made another 279 basically across two accounts. We're up $600. Like we'll call it 280 and 280. 280 makes a lady, if you know. I'm not making way more. I'm not, you made 140. I made 140. I just took a second trade. I don't know if you took the second entry. The biggest thing about it's a 280 makes a lady is it's a saying in American culture for some heftier ladies like to. It's a joke. Scrooge. Comparison is the thief of joy. I've always heard it. I've understood it to a point, but just try your best to trade your own account. They call it trading your own book, right? Understand what your balances are. Understand what your goals are. What do you want to do on a day, right? My trades are minuscule compared to some of the other people that are on here, right? Like, AK's making really great trades every single day. Deck's making big money on a daily basis, right? So you can't watch other people's P&L and be like, man, I need to make that, right? This is not what that's about. I'm just here to give you good sound advice to allow you to build good habits and then just take advantage of it every single day, right? I'm here to try and take advantage of the market every single day, and I'm going to do it as best I can to the best of my ability, and I'm going to do this on the 100K so you can see it. I don't want to do it on the 50Ks. I'm short on the 100K. If it's going to whip me out, it's going to whip me out, but I'll take it, and then I'll stop. I'm going to add one at the low on the 100K. The 100K, I'm going to start working to leverage in a little. If this is just going to be a retest break, then we're going to be good. We're going to be out, I think we should be okay right now. It should go fast if it's going to go. NVIDIA looks like it wants to sell through that 111.09, so this could lead us to some sell-side pressure. S&P is trying to pull back some, so let's see if this will roll us over here or if it's going to bounce. It's the opening range high, so it could bounce. I'm willing to take a shot on it. Yeah, it's fine. It's out. So that one got stopped. So that's why I didn't take it here, because it's still in with that overnight high. And you can see S&P relatively strong. I wanted to try and give it a shot on that 100K. See if I can get something out of it. NVIDIA may bounce from this 111.09. It's hard to bounce from account to account, so I have a tough time with that sometimes. But realistically, just kind of playing with those levels there. I'm very close to considering locking out. I want to see what happens with this here. If we can get this to be one of the rising wedge type deals, or if it's going to end up being more of a accumulate and go longer. Well done there, Ray. Lock out, be done. So you're gonna, like, here's the deal. You're gonna lose and you're gonna make money. You're gonna lose money. If you don't have a plan towards what you're doing, so you're gonna start to bleed out, right? But if you could just be patient, wait for your timing, allow things to play out. Look at that, hit off that overnight high now. That's gonna give you some confidence. If this previous day high on the S&P starts to melt off, then maybe we get now good timing on the overnight high breakdown in the NQs, right? Because we're relatively weak compared to the S&P. Don't feel like a loser, Scrooge. Everybody goes through the hard times. Switching to new types of trading, switching to different instruments, little things here and there are going to be difficult in this world, right? Where you need to kind of just find those little nuances and everything where you can just build off of your own milestones and don't worry about what other people are doing, because this is a very individual game. Hard patches come and go for everybody, and the what makes a trader stick around long time is that mental fortitude of just don't quit, right? Don't quit. Go through those hard times, build your accounts, burn the accounts, build those accounts, and eventually, obviously you don't want to ever want to burn them, but it's going to happen, especially early on. But when it comes to this, it's all about fighting your own mental game and building that mental fortitude and understanding that you are going to be knocked down by the markets. The markets are very, very smart. And if you start to slip a little bit, it's going to take what you give it, right? So when it comes down to it, just understand those dynamics of that is you versus you. As much as it's you versus the market, it's you versus you mentally, right? If you have your A+ setup, take it. If it stops you out, it's okay. Just don't get into the habit of revenge trading and taking it again and again and again and again, right? I want to see this, if it's going to hold below 80. I'm going to stop it one more time because we are selling off there. NVIDIA is melting through its low, so I'm going to take the shot one more time through here. I'm okay with risking what I got, and it'll probably be the last attempt I take on the day here. This should go fast. If it doesn't go fast, then we'll be out. Yep, we're out. So see, like, we take stops. We take our, if it's still valid, I'm taking it one more time. We take our shots, right? We're going to take our losses. We're going to take our wins. I was up, about 300 across two, and then I just gave back a full loser. So it's okay to understand that that's kind of going to happen, right? I'm going to switch up to a little bit of the best is yet to come. My trade there is valid, so I'm going to take it one more time. If it goes through it. Up 100, break even. Up 200. Oh, I'm short on the 100K apparently. And I'm flat at 228. I forgot that I had an order out there, so we'll see if it's going to play. This is short now. We're going to let it run a little. NVIDIA is really selling off pretty good. I would like this down at least to 228. 228 down to that VWAP would be really a nice little move here on this 100K. The other accounts are up 2 and change. I'm now eligible for a payout with today's wins. I shouldn't have got stopped on that one, to be honest. And this one should have waited. I should have been in this up much higher, but it's okay. I totally forgot about this account. So this is what happens sometimes. I did want to add there, so it is okay. It's fine. I'm at even, so we'll see what happens if this gets all the way down. There we go. Nice little breakdown. Our overnight levels work like a charm, baby. Let's get it. Everything works. All these levels are reactive. There we go. Get it. Give me that today. Give it to me today. There we go. All right. Back up. I'm okay with that because I like that it didn't break structure. I'm okay with taking my base hits and moving on. You know, that's a good little, you know, honestly, I should have been in that a little bit up in that range, but I forgot about this 100K account, to be honest with you, so it's all good. And this one I should definitely not have been trailed out on. I wanted to be a little more patient on that, but there it goes. Once again, there's the setup right at our level. I told you if you have the setup, again, it's not FOMO, it's not revenge trading. If it's setting up correctly and maybe you get wicked out, it doesn't hurt to hammer in one more time, but don't get into the habit of just banging, 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 banging if it's not working, right? That's that mean reversion strategy right there. A+ setup, and it works like a charm exactly from overnight high right down to VWAP. That gives you a nice clean move there, 40-ish points. And then you could be done for the day there. I mean, realistically, I don't want to really do much more. I gave back a little bit, and then I got back what I wanted. I've already traded once, twice, 3, 4 trades, a little bit more, you know, than I would like. If this would have hit off there, then we would have been up nice, like, you know, good little, if we were up to 280 and another 2 and change, you know, would have been up like 5 and change, 600, maybe more, because I would have let this one breathe a little bit. Are you on Top Step X, Scrooge? If you're on Top Step X, zoom all the way out and it'll adjust. The VWAP, for some reason, on Top Step X, if you don't zoom out, it only takes what you can see on the screen. So take your, if you can see your VWAP there, scroll out as far as you can and move over to yesterday. So I have mine scrolled out all the way so I could see that 1700 number where it starts. It starts at open at 1700 and then it adjusts. So if you scroll all the way out to 1700 and zoom out, you'll be able to see the entire VWAP. Yeah, I've ran into that issue a few times, so I get into the habit. That's why you'll see me get into the habit of scrolling all the way out, and you can be like, why does he keep doing that? That's why. Unfortunately, you know, I didn't allow this to work as much as I would have liked, but it's okay. I did it here as much as I could, right down to the bottom of structure. Pretty much would have been stopped out there anyway. So we're good on that with this 100K. I had this entry here. I wanted it up in here, which I got it on the, I'm up 120 on this today, so I'm okay with just building a nice little green day on that after yesterday, kind of chopping it up a little. It's not a bad deal. Up 228, we're going to go, and now that we're at VWAP, I'm in a no execution zone. I don't really care to execute here. I'm going to get rid of the Sinatra for a little. I don't want to, I mean, YouTube doesn't like it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm definitely striked after that, but I don't care much. Scott is 1128 and 1118, but your rebuild is on Thursday, and you still need 1800 to pass your 200 Ks. So Thursday, don't worry about the rebuild. Pretend it doesn't exist, because if you only need about 1800 to pass, you're three-quarters, 2/3 of the way to that 6K profit target, right? So, you know, you made 4 of a 6. So yeah, you're 2/3 of the way to passing. If you have to pay one more rebill, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't hurt you, because if you reset now, if you just burn the account, then now you have to try and get all those gains back again and then some, right? So if you were like only up 1,000 and maybe you needed, you lost some of your buffer, I think don't even worry about the rebill. Keep trading those accounts like they're gold. Trade them like you would if you were going to be funded. I know you're oversizing a little bit in order to pass, but if you're up that much on those accounts, don't do anything crazy. Just keep it going. I like the S&P short. through there. I'm going to take that. Oh, I can't. It's already through it. I love you. Screwed you back up green. There you go. There's a break of VWAP for the NASDAQ. We're up 228 on this account, 223 on the other account. The follower didn't get the best fills on the follow account. But we were up about 280. We gave back some, and we made it back. So really right now, doing a really good job of keeping this slope up and to the right. That's all I want to see with this daily account balance. We're almost at 3K. We're at 2,700 on this one. We're at 2744. 20. It's off by $10. So just a day in and day out. The win rate keeps increasing. We got 30 wins and 14 losses. You're going to still see those losers come in. I limit my losers really quick. Yep, JOLTS in 9. Way to be aware of what's going on. For me, that's why I just sit on my hands most of the time, especially for me into the hourly close, especially that 9 o'clock close. That's really where I kind of sit on my hands a whole lot. If we're checking out the profit curve, this is since we've been on stream. I've done this every single day across both accounts. There's no difference here. Just showing you what's going on in the accounts. Could have still been short in this and held this into the VWAP here, and this would have been a much bigger day. But to each their own. I don't mind just getting back to where I was, and then pretty much going to lock out this account. I'll mess around with the 100K since we're on stream still, and I'll look for some trades there. The high probability trade about today was that we opened on the high, right? Opening on the high really leads to a lot of that, pre-market profit taking. So what I like to do is take that short quick if it's going to open right there in a downtrend, right? If we're in an uptrend and we open on that overnight high, there's a chance that we squeeze up and we run. But right now, looks like the selling is continuing. But just showing you what consistency can do for you. These are not huge days. Yes, I've mixed in some big days. Right here, this 5-pack right there qualifies you for a payout. So we are qualified. We have the amount of winning days that we need. And I didn't force any of them in, right? I didn't need to make $200. I made 46. I made 120, 83. Some of these other trades, I didn't need to force that in. So I'm totally fine with just letting this be organic, taking whatever comes from me, managing my trades how I want to manage them. And I don't care if I catch the entire move or not. If I can just get what I get and just consistently day in and day out, only execute around my levels, only execute when it's right, I'm going to be way better off than if I'm just hammering in middle of the range, hammering in when I'm away from my levels. And, this is how you build consistency. You do this on a day-to-day basis, and you don't worry about what your P&L is really. Let the trades dictate how much you're going to make for the day. And then over time, it'll just build and build and build. And so see, Scrooge, if you look now, when you switch off the screen and back to it, the VWAP adjusts. So you got to zoom all the way out, and that's when it goes back. Zoom out on these accounts, and that's when it adjusts. So there you go. Sitting on VWAP, sitting on the VWAP. I like this overnight level. I will start trying to trade it here. Did not get filled. Oh, I don't know that. The JOLTS number. I can't do that. I need 2965 to pass your combine. I was so depressed about not making any progress yesterday, but I had to remember I'm being hard on myself. I've blown 0 accounts. I'm making back my losses. I never traded futures before on this combine. There's a lot of positives. Definitely a whole lot of positives there, Scrooge. It sucks to see everybody else making money when you are not, but you'll get there. You guys have been doing this a lot longer than me, and I need to crawl before I walk. Absolutely. I think realistically, when it comes down to it, like I said, the comparison is the thief of joy, and it's going to get you to a point where you're going to be like, wow, I mean, these guys are making $10,000, $20,000. If you just go through YouTube, people are making so much money they don't know what to do with. If you go through Instagram, right? Like, it's very unrealistic because you're not there yet. You're very, very green. I mean, it takes years to even just try and figure out maybe a little bit of understanding what goes on. And every time you figure it out, it kicks you in the face. So the more you can understand yourself, the more you can. That would have been a really nice little grab there. 4 points plus on the S&P. So like I said, if we get through this overnight high, get into this here, this confluence added to my short confidence, right? Confluence equals confidence. This right here, bang. That timed with this gave you that prime opportunity to take that short there and be. I got wicked out of it. It really probably should have never got wicked out because I was considering moving that stop just over the top of this, but it is what it is. I just risked my $200 and just get right back in. This is now heavy. We're going to go into this JOLTS number. It'll probably whip us around, get a little algo, and then either continue on or, rotate the other direction. But getting back to Scrooge, like, you have to take this journey on your own terms, do your thing. Make sure you focus on building your mental game, understanding that everything that comes down to it doesn't matter what your strategy is, right? I play this strategy because I know it works for me. There's people that do all these other names for things and, ICT this and, whatever other name. I only know the ICT thing because it's just in your face all the time. But there's names for everything. There's, head and shoulders pattern this, rising wedge that, fucking everything. Oh, everything that is just, it has terms and people are going to brand it on their own so they can make money selling the strategies and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you're doing this, it doesn't matter what your strategy is. As long as it's repeatable, then you're going to be able to be successful. And the only way you're going to be able to be successful is if you can beat what's inside of your head. You need to be the one to control your emotions when you take a loss. You need to be the one that has a plan and sticks to it, because if you don't stick to your plan, you'll never have a quantitative analysis to say, okay, this actually works, right? Because if you jump from, for me personally, like, let's say I'm instead of trading my overnight levels, I trade away from them. I trade at VWAP, or I'll trade like here because it says 180. That's a nice round number. I'm going to trade that. I don't really actually know if the strategy works because I'm trading away from levels. I'm trading away from what my hard, fast rules are. And until I've learned over time that when I break my rules, when I do something away from my levels, when I do something away from the norm, that's when I get myself into a completely randomized set of data, and things are just going to happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care. There's no edge to it. So you're just going to keep hitting buttons, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's just, I feel like it's going to work. I need to make money. I need to pass the combine. You got to get away from that. Get away from, I need to pass the combine, because just the combine is just something that's a barrier in your mind, because realistically it's an arbitrary number of profits. And you're just trying to reach a very specific goal across a course of days and as fast as you can, because you think that if you pass it faster, you're going to make money when you get into the funded account. But what you're doing is, by doing that, if you've never passed a combine before and don't know your real strategy, and you don't know, the what you're going to do when you come into a funded account, you're going to go ahead and make that money as fast as you can. Pass that combine as quick as possible. You might get lucky 1-2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, pass the combine, and then you're going to not know what to do when you have it, and you're going to just continue the habits that you just did, over leveraging all that, because you're going to just be so used to those numbers. You're going to be so used to that. But the only way to keep these things long term is to do what I'm doing right now and just taking those base hits time and time and time again until your home run setup comes, right? This, realistically, to me, I should have made more money today. And could I be disappointed? Could I be FOMOing in? I could. Realistically, yesterday and today were very good opportunities for me to make bigger money, but it's okay to just come in here and accept what you've taken and move on, right? Because if you just dwell on the fact that you've missed, consumer confidence reported at 100, consensus was 99.7, 97.8, and what was JOLTS? JOLTS was 818. and consensus was 8 million. Why does it always show all of these? There we go. 8.184 as opposed to 8. So job openings has increased. Consumer confidence is over 100 for some reason. I think people are ridiculous to believe that it's a great market to spend money, but they poll who they want to poll. Yeah, I mean, just try your best to separate everybody else and what they're doing from what you're doing, right? Like I said, I could be mad right now. I could be upset that I missed more money, right? Like, or that I wicked out here instead of actually just letting my, trade breathe a little bit more, understanding that I was right still when I got stopped out, just getting wicked out, but understanding that my setup was still valid and going back into it. I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with taking that and maybe I trailed out a little quick, but realistically, I have to just take what I get and stick to my rules, stick to my trailing rules and move on. And I'm eligible for a payout. And over the course of July so far, we're just shy of 3,000 in profits, and that's just building a buffer, not oversizing, taking base hits. Every once in a while, you're gonna catch this entire move, a really nice, piece of this, and then you're gonna just be like, all right, great, and then you're gonna move on again. Like if it's big, if it's small, if it's you might be a little more excited that you made and actually managed this correctly, but you're just gonna be happy that you executed according to your plans. Everything was done correctly, and you just kind of keep moving. For some reason, my opening ranges went away. I noticed that. They just want to disappear. That's great. Completely tradable rips. See, some people, if you go over to Top Steps live, they have a hard time trading this kind of market. And for me, this was pretty clear a short. I don't know if that's difficult for them to see because their strategies are different, right? If your strategy is something else, not every market condition is beneficial to every strategy. So understanding that this is going to be difficult, even for somebody who's done it for a really long time, don't get hard on yourself when you don't get the trades that you get. And have them work out. This is a beautiful move. I mean, I'm really kind of disappointed that I didn't catch this whole thing, but otherwise, I'm content. I'm up another basically $500 on the day. So, if I can make $500 in less than 30 minutes every single day, is that a problem? I don't think so. That's $2,500 a week. If you do the math, if you can just do 500 a day times 5 days, 500 a day times 5 days a week times 52 weeks, 130K a year by just making $500 a day. If you can't live off that, that's interesting. 162 quarter was a great level. I was about to write that, but then it touched it perfectly. 162 quarters. It is a nice area of interest, I think. For sure. Yeah, definitely some bounces there. I like that you're looking for levels. I like that you're trying to do things where you can see, key levels that are going to be reactive. That's what I want people to start understanding, that really that's all you need to do in this game is understand where price has been, where it wants to go is where orders will be executed, right? And that's why a lot of these levels will work. I use a 30-minute hourly, depending on how you look at it, set of levels over longer term. So if I find structure on those 30-minute levels, I will start to build that. Usually they'll be confluent to the hourly 4 hours. We're intraday traders. I want to see intraday action. People would say, oh, you got to use daily levels. I use daily levels long term, obviously. But in the grand scheme of things, like I said, we're intraday traders. We don't really care too much about what happens on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. I really only care about what's happening right now today. I have no predictions. I have ideas, but the market doesn't give a shit about what I think. So it's great, Scrooge. Find levels. It's it's the most important part of this as far as like understanding strategy. Build your own strategy, right? I'm not here to preach that my strategy is perfect. It's good and it works for me. Can I make it better? I can absolutely make it better. I could definitely increase my odds a little bit, hold things a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, when I stick to what I have in my set of rules, I'm successful enough day in and day out where I can now start to, build in and try and scale my growth. And that's when you start to see that exponential growth, is when you start to understand that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody else's strategy is. If you can take little pieces from me, take a little piece from AK, take a little piece from Deck, take a little piece from Caesar, and you'll be just fine. You want this coffee? You sure? I'm done with it. You sure? You want it? Thank you. What's up? Are they still sleeping? No. Alrighty. Thank you for the water. Understanding that you need to build it yourself is the biggest key to success, right? Some people have this VWAP strategy. It could be a break retest of the VWAP, or it could be now just a break and hold and run back up. I don't have a VWAP strategy. I know people do. I think it's a very good strategy to have, right? JOLTS didn't. So JOLTS isn't a very important number. I'm kind of bouncing a little bit here, but JOLTS isn't that important. It just is a number. So it's something that data releases. It shows, jobs and labor market stuff and whatever. Consumer confidence came out. That's just something that's going to move the algos. They're going to see a number. It's going to move around. It's going to dance, and then it's going to come back in, settle in, and then the market players are going to come back in. So just understanding that you're going to get movement around certain numbers. They're not going to be the big market movers. The ones that are going to move markets bigger is the Fed, non-farm, and CPI, PPI. Those are the numbers that are really the big key ones. Everything else, even if it is a red folder event, just understand that those things are going to just move us a little bit. Algos are going to dance it around. And then it's just another piece of the puzzle for the Fed to decide if they're going to make cuts or not. But realistically, they're not watching JOLTS. And in a normal market environment, JOLTS isn't important. Nobody cares about JOLTS. All of these numbers also, I do believe, are manipulated. So they just to get what they want to get out of them. Don't take my word for it. Ask around. But just when you, I just heard Dakota on the Top Step YouTube. He's on a combine practicing a certain strategy or whatever, right? He's got a live funded account. He's one of their better traders. He's got a live account. But when it comes down to trying new things, if you're on a combine right now, you've never passed, right? Okay, fine. Or if you're in multiple combines and you need to see like which strategy might work, right? If you have more than one combine, I told this to Ray last night. I said, if you want to trade you're doing well on overnights, have one account dedicated purely to overnight trading, right? Those late nights, 2 a.m., there's some good market action on that, Asian Open, whatever, London Open, stuff like that. Like there's times in the night that these futures actually do react. It's a lot slower. You can see levels pretty well. You're not going to get these giant moves out of it, but sometimes you do actually get a decent, like last night at, what time was that? It found a low at 9:30 and it ran all the way to this morning. So really there are opportunities, but have that one account for that nighttime strategy, that overnight strategy where you're not actually, using your main account, right? If you're going to test that. So if I'm going to go ahead and test other strategies, I'm going to use not this account, right? I'm not going to use my funded accounts. I'm going to go into a combine. I'm going to see if I can pass a combine, see if that strategy works. Because let's say I want to add oil, right? I have 2 more combines that are going to come back to me. I've been testing things in those accounts, but next week I'm going to get back into another 250K combines, and I want to test oil and I want to test gold, and I want to see if I can pass combines with those strategies so I can add those plays in. And then when I pass those accounts, maybe those accounts will just be purely dedicated to oil and gold, right? So having that kind of play out with the funding companies now allowing you to have multiple accounts allows you to kind of split your risk across. So if you have an account for this strategy and an account for that strategy, you can kind of see your equity curve moving up and to the right in all these accounts. You might not be able to compound it in one, but it's okay, because if you're building those other accounts with that strategy, it works, and technically it's still your money. You're still able to pull it once you hit off on those targets. So reasonably speaking, I think having the wherewithal to stick to one strategy in one account and build off of it, go. If you have multiple accounts and you're just going to copy it or whatever you're going to do, in that sense, just do it that way. That's fine. But if you have multiple ideas, things that you're working on, and something's actually working and you're building off that, in here, I think really if you haven't ever passed a combine, you should only have one, and you should just be focused on a singular strategy. And like I mentioned to Ray last night, I said, I've mentioned it in here a couple of times, where you just go, tonight, if you had a good day, if you had a bad day today, and just, people say you got to journal. But what you really need to do is reflect on the day. If you have a piece of paper, you don't even have to keep it, right? Just take that paper, write it down, say, I did well today doing this. I felt the tilt here. I didn't give into the tilt. I didn't give into the FOMO. All these things, just write down things that are going to be really strict. And then if you find that there's multiple things that come up every single day, either sticky note it on your monitor or write it on a piece of paper or have it like as your background on your computer screen and say, here are my main strict rules to keep this account going long term. Rule number 1 is don't do dumb shit. And that's always rule number 1. And if you are like me and you want to grab yourself a don't do dumb shit t-shirt, don't do dumb shit mug, we got that for you. We built that product line just for this stream, right? Don't do dumb shit mug, shirt, and obviously the inspirational bowl here. He is just subtly telling people to don't do dumb shit. He's got the don't do dumb shit right there on his mug. So if you are in here and every day you're understanding that number 1 rule is don't do dumb shit. Number 2 is what are those dumb things that you do, right? What is the dumb shit that you do? Number 1, don't do dumb shit. Number 2, or number 1A, dumb shit is I trade pre-market and I don't understand the price action, so I'll stop trading pre-market. I'll only trade when the market's open. Number 2, I oversize, so I'm going to force myself to either cut my size in half or really limit my risk. Okay. Number 3, and just go down the list and say, okay, I feel when I go on tilt, I feel my ears getting hot. I feel my hands getting sweaty. Okay. That's my tilt signs. What do I do when I feel those things? Do I control my emotions? Do I give in to them? Do I only stick to 3 levels or 4 levels for the day and I only trade around those 4 levels? Even though this looks great in the scheme of, can I go short here? Can I go long here? I'm in the middle of zones. I don't execute when I'm in the middle of zones. So add that into your little list and then just keep that as your background until it just kind of always is an everyday thing, right? I've fallen into habits as well, right? So every single day that I've been green, every single day that I've traded this entire account, I wake up in the morning. I do the same thing every single morning. I wake up, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, all that fun stuff. I go outside. I breathe fresh air. If it's raining, if it's sunny, if it's hot, if it's cold, I'm going outside. I'm taking those deep breaths. I'm just getting away from computer screens, phone screens. Obviously, I brew my coffee. So I take a step back. I brew my coffee first, and then I go outside. Today, I actually brewed my coffee outside, so that was fun. So brew coffee, have some coffee, be outside, enjoy the air, focus in my mind, allow those just deep breaths. It's not that long. I get up. The nice thing about trading futures, and for me, I only trade the NASDAQ and I have the S&P levels. It takes me like 5 minutes to get my levels squared away because I have my longer term charts where I have everything built up. I can use those. I can manipulate. If I need to be on here a few more minutes early, if I need to set something up in the stream or whatever, I only need a few minutes. So I go outside. I get up at 7:30, whatever, do all those things. I get outside before 8. I spend, anywhere from 10, 15, 20 minutes outside just focusing in. I take some deep breaths. I just tell myself that I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to stick to my levels. I'm going to stick to my setups. Once I feel like I've gotten that that nature into me. I'm just getting some sun in my face, and then I come back inside. I set up the stream. I go through my levels, and then I'm ready for the day. And I'm not giving myself the opportunity. I don't also come to the charts at 8, 7, 8, because I don't want to be tricked into some of these levels to trade. I don't like to trade pre-market in the futures as much. Depending if there's a 730 number, I like something like non-farms. You see that non-farm comes out at 730. I may come and watch that. I like to not execute on that. I just want to see where price ends up. And then I'll like to chart some of the before a non-farm, after non-farm number, and then play some of those levels during the day. So they'll add to my levels, but if they align with the overnight high, low, and stuff like that, if they become the overnight high and low, then they're just part of it anyway. So that's what I like to do. Just build a rhythm in the morning. Do something that just keeps you on track, gets your mind to that point where you're focused in on what you're going to be doing, and then go on with your day. Right. I'm going to go ahead and lock out these 50Ks. Yes, lock me out. Dismiss. I just secured another qualifying winning day. If I really wanted to, I could withdraw 50% of everything I've made so far. That would be 27, 34, 60. So half of that I could take out. I'm keeping my buffer of 2,000 at least. I'm going to see how this week ends up, and then I'm going to request a withdrawal at the end of the week. So you'll be able to see what I take. I'll go through that with you guys when I do it. So we are qualified there. Now that we have this account, I'm going to do that. All squared away, like I said. 228 on this one, 223 I think on this one. Yeah. So we were up about 280 before, right? I said 280 makes a lady. We were up 280. We took one loss on that. Unfortunately, we got wicked out on this somehow. I actually still don't even know how that wick happened. I think this bounced and popped, whatever. I wanted to be up over this, but without any other reasons. Ended up taking it again, stopping out right at the 270-ish. Let's just give you an exact number. Stopped at 272 right there, 272, just over this trend line crack. Once this broke, clear rotation down right into VWAP. If I was just slightly more patient on it, I would have been fine. But we saw how it reacted before. We made our first really good trade there, took another one there, and we took the third time through. Third time is the charm, it seems like today. You can see this kind of wedging up here. NVIDIA is trying to curl back up. It rolled all the way down close to 107.33, so it's curling up from there. There's really not a lot for it to be grabbing onto, so if we can roll back further down, this continues. Let's see if this 100K account can make any more money today. We're up 120 on it. Basically back to even on that account the last 2 days. I've just kind of been working through things with it. I'm going to give it a shot down through the VWAP maybe. No, I'm going to stick to my levels and let it do its thing. I haven't been back to a level yet, so we'll wait for a previous day low or an overnight low to come in. Tilt is 62% to the long side. All right. If anybody's got any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, I mean, every single day we've been on here, we've called out really good trade locations. If you are trading maybe a little smaller, or if you're trading, with a little bit more risk, or, you got a bigger buffer size, you're able to really capitalize on some of these bigger pieces of this move. For me personally, like I said, I trail quick, I get out, I take my base hit, and I move on. I could always go 2-to-1 and just click it, set up $400, here, $400 there. But I like to be able to maximize my runners if I could. Realistically here, I mean, I wanted to get this a little bit further down. I got slightly tighter than I should have on that trail, but it's, no big deal, especially after getting wicked out here. Maybe I adjust a little bit, just kind of talking through it for myself. The adjustment on this here for the stop location being just over these wicks, so I could have just been in, no problem, and then gotten that rollover without being stopped out, right? We got wicked in, wicked out, and then I re-entered right on that candle, so we were able to do that. could have went minute by minute and then been stopped out. Basically only a few more points deeper. So it's not like we got more on it, but just allowing that first move to play out, because then we would have been up instead of, we would have been in that $3,000 area, that $3,000 territory for the account. So I'm going to let this week play out, see where I'm at the end of the week, and then request the payout. Tomorrow's the last day of July. Maybe I'll just do it, month to month, request the payouts month to month, and allow, August to be its own animal. Because it is really, that's kind of how it works, right? Month to month to month, you got to see how profitable you could be over the long term. Anybody have anything? Questions, comments, concerns, movie choices? Yesterday we talked about Gladiator 2 possibly coming out. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, not possibly. It is coming out. Got to have to see it. Are they going to ruin it? They can't ruin number one. So they have a really big shoes to fill. House of the Dragon. Did the new episode come out yet? What days do they come out? Sundays? I saw I think I saw season finale is Sunday. Okay, I gotta watch that one. I'm up to whatever that last one is. I think we've seen all of them. There's only 6 episodes this season so far, or 7. Is there more than that? Am I missing one? Seven, 8 is the finale. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen the 8. There's a Friends movie coming out. That's interesting. Are they gonna have the original characters minus Chandler? Chandler's funeral is the focus. That would make sense. That'd be a good one. This does look like it wants to get heavy. Maybe it could push into this low of the day here. You can see S&P is trying to do it. NASDAQ not quite there yet. NVIDIA also trying to roll some. I think we have down to 155. That was the number yesterday, 155. That I was talking about. Could wick that. I've got you. That would be good to see, actually. Especially after seeing some of these other characters like playing other things. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Scott. No doubt about that. Playing some of these other characters. And then, like, Ross literally can't be anybody but Ross. So he gets so mad about it. So it'd be funny to see them come back and do it. S&P is leading us down through the support low. And Q is diverged a little bit, so probably look to see if it catches up to get down to that 155. Could take that 200 level acting as that resistance. There's basically a triple top there at the VWAP. Bam, 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 bam. You broke another trend line. This is really when you're in a trend and these breaks happen, this tends to work. And like I said, we're in a downtrend. This is exactly what I was looking for up here. I did not front run it. I waited for our overnight high to get play. The reason that the trend line crack is so consistent is because what is happening realistically with price is it's not necessarily that it's sitting on that trend line, but mathematically it's just buyers are coming in at a higher price, and then when they give up, that buyer gives up, doesn't want to buy that high anymore. Then when it gives up, that buyer is no longer there, so then it has to just release that pressure valve, which gives that little push down. Does it have to follow through? No, it doesn't. Like this little push here didn't have to follow through, but when you get back up to it, are the buyers still going to be there? That's why it likes to retest. It wants to see, are the buyers back? No, they're not back. Okay, we're going to sell it off again. So it's kind of just a nice little dynamic of where price, buyers are here now. Oh, buyers are here now. Oh, buyers are here now. Oh, buyers gone. Boom. Or if it's the other way around, if sellers are here, sellers are here, sellers are here, bang, bang, bang. Okay, we're going to give up. Is the seller there? Oh, yeah, the seller's still there, and we're not going to fight him anymore and roll it over. So, it's kind of a mathematical equation. It's kind of clear price action as far as it's not the trend line that's doing the work, but also then plus the trend line developing. More people are waiting for that break on one side or other, or the bounce on one side or the other. So they're waiting there for it. And now retail is very large now with the advent of internet technology. these are things that people look at. This is what people see, and it's visual. It's easy to see it. So people are going to be like, I'm going to react when that happens. And so they're reacting to that break. Sometimes the market makers will want it to go the other way, so they're going to feed into it. Sometimes they want it to go back the other direction. So false breakdown, rotate back up. They're going to seek that liquidity down here to rotate it. But if it's heavy and it's continuing and it's breaking, it's just a good area for them to know that they can just continue it on because people are going to hammer in there. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, you can see the opening range left above. Delta flattened out. Price trying to make new lows here. Delta didn't quite make a new low. So if we do wick this low bottom here at 164 and you start to see an aggressive buyer step in, this could be a trap for a long rotation. But if you start to see Delta catch up and it gets aggressive down through that low, then potentially that's where you will. There's a 65 lot at 165, so it's sitting right there. You'll see the aggressive buyer is more likely here. It seems like you can see he's stepping in. Buyers are stepping in. Russell curling up. Getting a little bit of a pop from support. There you go. Holding that low. The rotation from that level there is another 600 bucks. Like these are it looks like very tight little moves, but if you play these breaks, you're grabbing $600, $500, $600 on these trend line breaks. So it's not like I don't have that right now. Today I have a nice couple $200 winners, and I moved on. Russell is now crushing up right into the opening range. Caught a really nice bid. Is price going to rotate out of these mega caps and into small caps? That's the question. Are we rotating now? Are we going to push out of the NVIDIA's NQ, out of Apple, out of Microsoft? What's the earnings today? The earnings today is... Go to my write-up and you can take a look. Today is Tuesday. We got AMD, Microsoft, Starbucks, after market hours. So these things could drive you today. AMD could give indication of where NVIDIA is going to go. So right now, NVIDIA is selling off. AMD currently chopping around, just basically probably in anticipation of this earnings. But AMD's guidance is going to give some AI guidance, is going to give some chip sector guidance. Obviously, Microsoft is Microsoft. It does its thing as well. It's second largest name, second to NVIDIA. So we are doing the same thing, kind of just chopping in a zone. So watch these names after market hours. See what their price action tells you. See if it's going to allow you to make a decision on, is it going to, crush lower? Is it going to, spike higher? Does it revert back to the mean? What's going to happen with those numbers as we do get the earnings, right? So understand that that's a thing that could really be a mover for this week. Like I said, there's tons of opportunity this week. We've already capitalized on it 2 straight days. I'm cool with taking my 200 and running today. I would have liked to have allowed this maybe, after I caught that first 1B and the second move, honestly, that stop right there could have allowed it to just breathe a little more and would have been just fine on just adding to the winners today. But we didn't, so it's all good. Just kind of reflecting on how to make it a little bit better of a trade moving forward next time, right? Just broke low of the day. Is it going to continue on to previous day lows, or is it going to turn around right here? NVIDIA has down to 106.24. It's looking to break low of the day at 107.42. So if that does give up, that will be 106.30 is the low that it's going to target. NVIDIA didn't crack low of the day yet. S&P is sitting, NASDAQ sitting right at that 160 mark. Refresh your browser. It has a lot to do with your internet at times. If your internet gets a little wonky, it does do that. So that's another thing I want people to understand is if you are trading, be very aware of your technology. If you start to see freezing, if you start to see your computer, like I knew when things would start to go a little bit off in my technology when I was, it was so weird when I was trading with T3. I think I really probably should have took steps back and understood that I was getting stuck in positions and stuff because the internet at my parents' house at that time wasn't perfect. I was running into a lot of issues because of the cables outside, which we finally learned that was the issue. But if you notice things start to happen, like I noticed that YouTube would freeze first. And then once I noticed that YouTube would freeze because I'd have music on or whatever in the background, or I'd lose connection to our room on the desk, we'd call it the pro desk at T3. I would lose a little connection there, and then my feed would start to seize up. Be acutely aware of your technology. If you notice any of those things happening, don't execute trades. Figure out what's wrong with your technology first, and then get back to it if you want to, but make sure that things are correctly working. Put that into your rules. If you notice that price is acting funny, if Top Step X is doing some weird things, it's okay to not trade, but you have to be aware. If you get stuck in something or if something happens, unfortunately, yes, it's your responsibility. If it's really a major problem with the broker, a lot of times they make it right. Top Step tends to make things right pretty much every time. If there's a widespread issue that causes major disturbance in their platforms, so they will make things right. It is helpful if you're in a live account and the brokerage has a mistake, then maybe you have some recourse to work with. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to understand your technology. It's up to you to understand if things are going a little bit weird to not execute anymore. Do not tick those trades. Do not play with your platform, right? The only single day I lost this entire month, not that I didn't lose trades, but the only losing day I had this month was the very first day I had these, I had these accounts in here, but we had a hurricane, and then there was the weekend, and we lost power, and we had nothing on the 8th. The 9th, I started to regain power. I started to regain internet. So I started to get in here and get on the charts, and I would lose internet. I would get internet. I would be on my phone. I'd be off my phone. And, that's the profit curve that you get, right? You take that initial loss, you build back. You take a little bit of a loser. Then I built back to green. I broke that rule where I should have just locked out. Like if I start red and I go right to green and basically even, that's a good day. If I start green, go to red a little bit, or I go down and back up. If I still have the appropriate setups, I could still do it. But if I go red to green like this, my rule pretty much says shut it down, especially breaking the rules of adding to my journal. Traded on a day where I had no power. Traded on a day where the hurricane created technology issues. Should not have executed positive was locking out after that loss for a small game. So that's what, good with Top Step X. They have a journal platform built in. You could type notes into these days that you've made good trades, bad trades, stuck to your plan, didn't stick to your plan. I've basically stuck, to my hard, fast rules every single day, 16th, 17th, 24th. Those 3 days, I did not trade. The 24th, I was on the charts, right? But I just had no good A-plus setups, so I noted it, right? The 16th and the 17th, I knew I had training. I knew I wasn't going to be on the computer. I made it a point, to make these green days for myself. So that's what I like to do. I like to kind of just notate all that. Definitely making its way to lower levels so you can start to watch the previous day low, overnight lows, watch those reactive levels. The reason those are reactive is because, during our session is because they were reactive on the night. They were reactive the day before. There's a decision to be made there. If we can get into that 54.79, 54.81 in the S&Ps, then that's maybe when you get the bounce. So my anticipation with how this price action goes is with the melt through here, you probably don't stop at the previous day low because S&Ps is probably going to want to catch up. So you're going to want to wait for the setup to get to that overnight low and then see if you can get any sort of setup around that. 9:35. We've been open for about an hour. Checking my emails, making sure everything. I don't want to work it. No. So watch this previous day low. See if we get any reaction around it. Likely, Nvidia's got down to 106.24. So I think we break this. You get something that happens here. Maybe you get a reaction out of it. Then it comes through it. We get into that. If we can get that lower wedge pattern and the S&P can then get into here, then you can wait for that bounce through and up. That's kind of what I would like to see back into the VWAP, which probably will be somewhere along those lines right there. So that's what I want to see happen for that to be sort of my A+ type of setup, right? I think just the depth that the S&Ps has not gotten back to yet. All right, it does have some support right here at 54.92 and 54.87. 54.87 could act as a bounce point, so watch that level as well. But I think you get through a previous day low without much issue, get into overnight lows. Nvidia needs to get down to 106.24, and then it needs to tell you if it's going to make new lows, right? Nvidia here, it needs to get to this white dashed line to give you timing, better timing for our trade, right? And then you can see my longer term chart here, my 30-minute. Very nice short from the high of the day. If anybody is one of those longer term traders, I give you great levels to kind of work with. It seems like they've been working now a little bit smoother, a little bit longer term moves. So I may look to hold a little bit longer. My trailing strategy was really it's good in certain cases, and sometimes I don't really get big moves. But like I said, the full rotations are likely when I talk about them. And I'm okay with how I'm managing them. I'm not too upset. They say you can rename accounts. I see you. I see you watching. These eyes. Time equals money. This is going to end up being a really, really great short from that high up there. If you did execute on this, like I said, I trailed out, took my money. In theory, right, want to get that down the VWAP a little more. Then you get this retest. I don't have middle. This is middle of the range. I don't execute middle of the range stuff. I don't execute around the VWAP. Now we're at our next area of interest where I want to see bounce plays. I want to see rotation. I don't think that we've seen enough. We're in a longer term range over the last few days. I'll call it from last Thursday till today. I don't think you're going to expand out of this range too much. We could go a lot lower. We can go down into the 19,000s to kind of still stay in this range. But I think tight inside range type days will be, they'll be around because until tomorrow with the rate decision, but more so that they're going to hold rates tomorrow and then guide for the next cut, potentially in September is what they said. Unless they surprise cut tomorrow, then that's when you're going to get that bounce. Nvidia's still hasn't made its way down to that 106.30 level. It's almost there. They may be front running it. You see this reaction perfectly bouncing off of the previous day low. So we're holding the yesterday's range. As I mentioned, I think we can get a bounce like we have. Then it flushes through, and then S&Ps can catch up, get down to their overnight lows, and the previous day lows will be into that overnight low area. Maybe we can chop around a little bit down here, create a little bit of a wedge, and then start to rotate off of that overnight low and into highs. I have locked this account out. I have locked out the 50Ks. We have secured another, $500 on the day. So I'm not too upset at my days, right? We're not looking to go crazy. Home run, home run, home run. I'm copying everything. What's up, Steingraber? The Steingraber is here. Everybody loves a Steingraber. Stein. I need to get this. Yeah. I need to get this down to the overnight lows. Yeah. Then I can look to see if I can rotate off, get my divergences. If S&P just curls off of here and runs up, then so be it. You just didn't get to your level. If you can stick to that, where you just stick to your levels and don't execute away from them, you limit your risk. You start to set the odds in your favor. As long as you can keep the odds in your favor every single day, you can take shots at them. You can allow price to move the way you think it's going to move. You could get better hypotheses out there, more educated, more limiting of your risk, and you're able to just build your account slowly over time, right? Like I said, I've been just base hitting the shit out of it, and I've made, just shy of $3,000 in this month of July on one account. So we're up $6,000-ish across the accounts in a month. So if you could do that times 3, times 4, times 5 accounts, it doesn't take much. If you can pass and copy trade 5 accounts, make $3,000 over 5 accounts, you do yourself a little favor and secure a little extra income for yourself. It doesn't take much. $200 a day. Hell yeah. Welcome to the morning live session. $200 times 5 accounts. That's $1,000 a day times 5 days. 55 days. 1,000 a day times 5 days a week times 52 weeks. I think you'd be a very happy person with the $260,000 extra salary, making $30, making $200 a day. And those are the average days. There's going to be bigger days. There's going to be smaller days. But on average, you're going to be making around, if you could just take these base hits day in and day out, and they're going to let you copy trade them on 5 accounts. Why not? Why would you not just take your base hit? Let's go, Steingraber. Passing 1, working on your second. Like I said, I'm working with 3 right now. Obviously, I can't copy trade the 100K. So if you want to copy trade all of your accounts across them, make sure they're the same size. So I can only do 50K times 2. I have my 100K that I do separate stuff on that I'm kind of like just at even with that account. I wanted to work on longer holds, which I didn't end up taking on this one, which I could have. But it's all right. I forgot about the 100K account, to be honest with you. And there was an order sitting on there. So I still make stupid mistakes just like everybody else. I think this is still, I don't think I'm just going to let it tell me what to do. But my thought on this pretty much is exactly what's going on, right? We rolled into here. We found that support here. We bounced. We can rotate through. We need to get back down here into this cloud for me to even think about executing. Obviously, you got a higher low right there. Could start to wedge up and out. We have a nice delta push, strong delta. We're kind of sitting right on that lower band of VWAP. That's another thing that's going to support us right there, is that lower band right there that's holding. That held yesterday. It's holding today. We are going to just be patient. You got to wick off on that delta. Let me see if there's any larger order sizes. Overhead, we got a 40 lot. Nothing big, nothing huge. It disappeared. It's like just flashing here and there. It's just showing size and disappearing. Same on the bottom. So there's algos coming in and out. flashing like 40, 50 lots, trying to move markets in directions, trying to like, what happens with it is it flashes some size, it pulls the order. It flashes some size, it pulls the order. That's kind of like a high frequency bot pulling and going, trying to pull price in a direction. And then once they start to see price, it's more of like a teaser. Once they start to see price, pick a direction, go that way, then they'll throw more size on the book. It's very calculated, right? So if you don't go out of your way to really set up what your edge is, you're going to get taken advantage of by these bots, by these algos, by these, not even by the big bank players or anything like that. The algos are going to just throw teaser orders out there. That's when you're going to start to see these wicks and the movements. They're going to get quick. The more you watch the charts, the more you watch the level twos, the more you see the time in sales, every day that you build experience on the charts, you're going to develop a relationship with what you're trading. So you're going to understand the behaviors when there's something that's weird, right? When price does something like this and it gets wiggly, right? And that's the only way I could describe it. It wiggles, and it gets faster, but it gets manipulative. It looks manipulative, right? It probably is. It's more of like is there interest up here? They're teasing orders. They're just throwing something on the book, seeing if it'll hit, seeing if price will pull that way, and then maybe moving it the other direction. You have to understand that that's going to happen because you're not a robot. The robots are doing that. The algos are just clicking buttons and they're throwing money into the market. They're throwing money out of the market. They're making money on very minute moves, but also at the same time, you have the bigger players who, when you know that those positionings are going to happen, like yesterday, I talked about it on my Instagram. I talked about it on stream. This one right here, I'm going to talk about it real quick because I think it's super important, where we got into this level right there. This was right around the previous day low or the overnight low, which was like right around here. We pushed in. I said that this wedge pattern here, I'm going to talk about it because I think it's very important to notice, right? You could see this is an interesting thing. This is what I like to play. I play it on both ends at my levels. Once we cracked above this line right here, you crack above here, you could see that manipulative wick up above, and then it comes back and then sells off. This hard sell-off happened really, really fast, but also told me a story that we trapped longs here and that there were definitely, if there were going to be stops, the stops are going to be down below here. So what this bigger player was doing was, once this wedge occurred and they got people to get long, maybe they threw out some orders out here to kind of get us up there, or maybe the algos or whatever, it pushes up here. It traps people long over that previous high. So you're now trapped long. Once you do that, the most logical, obvious point where they're going to put stops is below structure. So that the bigger players, they have the order books first off. So they'll start to see, once we got long here, did all those orders come in here? Okay, yes. Now there's stop orders. Those stop orders are sell orders. So what does this need to do? It needs to sell down here. And the only way they're going to buy bigger size is to accumulate those sell orders from us, from whoever is trading that pattern. So they accumulated all those sell orders to buy up what they wanted to buy. And then they immediately rotated it right back. Once you got back above, like I said, if you get above this area again, it's going to squeeze because now their true long is actually long. Anybody who was buying here before might be buying again, right? There's a lot of interest here, but also at the same time, if these people were selling here, now people who are like, oh, it broke low of the day, I'm going to chase this sell, their stop is going to be above that major structure level, right? So if their stop is above that major structure level, now you have a ton of buy orders here that are stop orders, and you're going to get people who are entering new longs, right? So you have a lot of buying interest, which squeezes this up. So if you see something like this kind of setup where you get that trap, it's like a double trap. I don't know how to explain it, but watch for something like this to happen again. That's when you know it's more of a big play. Probably going to be a longer move, push you up and be very clean to the upside or whatever direction it's going to go, because that's the thought process behind it, right? So if you start to think in terms of thinking like a big player, thinking like a big fish, understanding that there is more to what they're doing behind the scenes, and then understanding the little micro movements. Those micro movements might be those algos, right? So you can kind of see the difference between maybe what's an algo and what's a market mover, what's a market maker, what's a hedge fund. If you start to see really big size on the book, are they trying to pull orders there? Or are they going to try and Is it a 100 lot to get people to come down here and say, oh, I'm going to front run it and then sell it further? Or is it a 100 lot here that truly wants to buy and is front of line on the book and wants to get up ahead of it? That might be just a dumb player. They don't want to, most of the time they want to hide their orders as best they can. The big fish, right? A lot of equity stuff. They do stuff in dark pools, so you're not going to see a lot of that stuff. But in the futures market, the book is the book right there. I'm sure there's some backdoor dealings, but you're going to see it. This is a 70% long. If it ticks up a little bit more, you could watch for that trap to happen here, right? You could trap this, get people up and try and get them long. With that 70% tilt, that is retail. So you are going to start to see maybe a break above 160, stop these people out. Or if that 160 wick is going to be the trap, then you watch for this to either hold this level, get right back above it, and then rotate through here, push through that, and then get down to our overnight low. Then we can maybe get the S&Ps to finally catch up. That's the kind of move I want to see in order to get involved in this. You see this wedge out, you see that happen, you see this break, you see that break. That's a good opportunity to get short to down into here because you got that manipulation there. But overall, it worked once, it worked twice. Will it work a third time? So close to the previous day low. NVIDIA still hasn't quite got to 106.30. So could be interesting. 106.30 still needs to get tagged. This could be another breakdown here and then rotate through. And then you could have your overnight levels playing middle of the range in the S&Ps, on the previous day low in the NQ. NVIDIA still hasn't made it to 106.30, so we're just shy of it, but it's trying to break that low again. So if you get that low of the day crack, then the NQ probably follows. There's the breakdown of it. Does it hold? If it breaks and holds below 130, you get them pushed through the previous day low. Maybe you play the S&P to catch up. Does that work? Does the short through the previous day low get you to the overnight low? The hold of that, I'll do this on the 100K and I'll see if it works. Oops. All right. Wanted that to actually break it. Didn't actually break it. It held it. See if it breaks. Is that going to hold? You want to take that breakdown of that first piece, that 130. See if it'll go. See if it'll break through here. Or if it's going to hold. I think with the S&P still so far off from its overnight lows, I think we do have an opportunity for it to get through. But at the same time, this previous day low is showing some strength here. Still have actually a pretty heavy delta. Hasn't made it, it's a higher low in the delta, higher low in price. See if delta will now start to get aggressive or if price is going to drag it back up. You see delta not following through with that buy. The market's still heavy. It's still a selling market at the moment. Could be a nice bounce and then a rotation all the way back up. Trap, like I said, that trap type play. S&Ps still not playing. still just not doing that. So we're going to cancel that order. This 100K account, just bouncing back and forth on it. Kind of trying to work different types of things into this 100K around these levels. This is holding. Let's see what the NVIDIA is doing. NVIDIA got to the 106.33 mark, so that's why that bounced. This might go here. Yeah, we're down on the 100K. I'm done with that. Don't want to mess around with that much more. Down a little bit on that account. All right. We're going to stick to just this one here. Overall, like I said, just try to stick to your plans. Let this thing set up a little bit more and go from there. That thing bounced right off of that 106.33 mark. Still working on seeing if this will get through here. This low, sweep it, get into here, because this S&P needs to do the same thing. If that would set up, that's what you want to do. Let's see, when do these rebuild? I think they rebuild the end of the month. So I'll start to work those. Like I said, for anybody who wasn't here earlier, the new combines I'm going to try and work oil and gold on potentially. So those will be just dedicated to those to see if those types of things will work. Sticking to our strategy here every single day on this account, just that steady up and to the right, nice clean profit goal. We are eligible for payout. We're going to see what comes tomorrow, and maybe either Wednesday, since it's the end of the month, we'll just do the payout for the month of July. I'll do that tomorrow. If not, we'll do Friday for the payout. The trying to bounce multiple accounts around for me is a little, I always get myself into a little bit of a hole with the other accounts when I do that, but I still have plenty of room on that 100K. It's down about 7 on it. So just trying to, this is the 100K account here. This is when I did good, and then I started to get into a little red streak because I'm trying to bounce into that and try a little different things. There's still plenty of drawdown on this that I have no questions about, but these are the other two. The 50Ks that are copying. Excuse me. We're almost at the level from the 5th, right before long-term run-up in the NQ, looking at the 1 hour. Absolutely. Yeah, we are. From the 5th. That's why I use these levels. If you see right here, I do have that as well right there. That's what that white line is. That white dotted line there is that basically that 5th area where we had that first breakout retest of it. That 18,979 is that breakdown. I think realistically that 117, that 120 area that we held yesterday, this is that breakout point there, that 117, that cluster there. So that's what I look for in that chart. It looks like I think we're breaking that low now finally. So I should have waited a little bit longer. Like I said, I just didn't. I caught that short right at the bottom. I got bottom ticked on it, and then it rotated out, and then I stopped out on it. But let's see if my thought comes into play here. Now that we're in here, let's roll this out, get my VWAP correct, because VWAP likes to get adjusted weirdly. If we can get S&Ps down to 5480-ish, it might not get all the way there. It might only get to 5485 because of the support here, 5487. But if as long as it gets down into that area, right, anywhere between here, you start to see it bounce. You start to get this cleaned up. You get a wick down below. Maybe get down into, let's call it, previous day low right there. Previous 2 days ago low was 19,041. So we'll call it 19,041 as the failed breakout point. If it rejects that area right here, right in that zone, if price comes into here, does that, and then starts to work its way back up, this is where you're going to want to see that push, that failed breakout. If it's going to continue down, you're going to get through that. Lock it out, up 158 for the day. Well done, Scrooge. Good job. I love when people get back to green, do their plan, lock themselves out, do their job. I do think that the drawn up idea that I did before is still playing out. That thesis is still correct. If you can get down here, then the NVIDIA sweep of that new low that it made right there at 106.33 didn't quite get to 106.30. So if it could sweep through that 106.30, grab some orders, you're going to see this thing do this. I mean, if it gets here and catches a bunch of sellers, then it's going to just melt down to 19,000. Absolutely. If you can lock out, fantastic. Beautiful thing. Hey, look at that. That's a good month. Basically an even month. You have to learn to walk before you crawl. Absolutely. So now we're at the overnight low. The timing is not correct yet because look at the S&P. Still has room. I said up into 87, but with the break of 87, NVIDIA just flushed the 106 mark. So we're down into the 105.80s. See if this 41 holds. If 41 can hold, this is a big volume candle here as well. So this breakdown made a lot of sense. I'm a little annoyed at my 100K account because I've locked myself out 3 days in a row and the move happens right afterwards. Where instead of being up, I'm down on those accounts. But it's okay. I'm fine with it because I'm still really just sticking to my strategies here with this. If you took this short from the high, rotated it like we did, we were playing with the shorts up here, got involved. This move is really, really nice, really clean, pushed down. If you're a little bit more of a enter and see where the day takes you kind of trader, that's where it's at. Hell yeah, it's just the beginning, Scrooge. Well done, buddy. I really do. I think you're doing a really great job. We'll see. 41 just tagged off, basically 40. So if this can hold, that's where I wanted to get down to, right? You see S&P now right at that 79. If I would have waited for this opportunity, then I may have gotten it. I did try the short here. Didn't wait for the retest break on the 100K, and that's really where I got trapped. I could have left that thing alone and would have been fine, but it's all right. This 41 should be the area where there's interest. That's the low from 2 days ago. If not, then you're going to be looking at 19,000 even. Or even 18,979. That short was beautiful, man. I mean, honestly, would have targeted that. Rotated. That was a really nice, clean move through that previous day low. You got to understand the dynamics of the market here. That's why you wait on that long side, not quite right there. This short is still heavy, still going straight to the downside. Sellers are pouring in now. S&Ps caught up, right? I talked about how this short up here looked really great. Making some adjustments to some of the things that I wanted to see, right? I was talking about the short on the retest of the opening range. We never took that. We're at VWAP, right? That's just not, we wanted to see that catch up. So if you did take that trade as well, that was good on you. Hell yeah. 2K times 2 for the day. Lock it out, Scotty. Lock it out. Well done. Well done. I think that was realistically the right play. I did mention that this is exactly the kind of move we were going to see, except we didn't ever get the consolidation down here, or yet. We didn't get it yet. It could come still down here at 19,000 and rotate up. But we were talking about how this looked trappy right here, that the breakdown of this was going to lead to a push through the previous day low, which we got a second bounce. And we wanted to see what happened at this overnight low as the S&P caught up. So using the divergences, helping us make good decisions, right? You could do whatever you like, Scott. I would recommend maybe not trading much more. I mean, You're less than 1,000 away from passing. You can't, I mean, you could technically make it today if you want. I mean, if you really, here's what you need to do. You can make 1,000 tomorrow and then no rebuild. Or if you're not going to lock out, wait for something to tell you that this is going to be a rotation the other way, right? 18,979 is the next balance point that I have. 979 right here. If that doesn't hold, I mean, we have all the way down to the bottom end of the channel, which is 18,847, 18,884. You know, we could just continue to keep rolling. I mean, I honestly, like I said, I'm just, oops, didn't want to do that. That's all right. It is melting, and I was short right here, and I got wicked in, wicked out, and then I locked out the 100K. So I'm just a little early. The 100K account, I find myself getting into a little bit off because I'm trying to manage that account a little bit differently than this account. So obviously, definitely not working out that way. This one, I really wanted to actually be short right at this level, but I waited for this candle to close, and that candle close just kind of got me in a little bit of trouble. If I would have got in here, I could have risked to the high, and then I would have been just fine. So just adjusting those risks, obviously, really good. But we talked about it, so at least you guys took it. I want people to be green. I want people to be enjoying this. Absolutely, Scrooge, anytime. I'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place. Here's that 79 level. We'll see if that holds or if it's going to wick it and come back above it. Right now, we're just in free fall mode. There's not a lot to talk about here for trying to chase it, nothing like that. Like, you know, I don't have any sort of FOMO or anything like that. I'm just, you know, does NVIDIA have the ability to go all the way down to $101? That's a really big pullback. It does have 101.42 as support. If 101.42 gives up, then even further down we go. Earnings next week, maybe they're positioning for a good earnings play. 101.60. What's the low of that? 101.52. 101.52. I'm going to throw a line up there. Alrighty. On the daily, I want to get that back to the 5-minute. Damn. Muscles on muscles on muscles. Beautiful, beautiful short right through there. The A+ setup was the overnight low rotation. However, I felt that we could get short through previous day lows and rotate down to the overnight low and then make a decision down there. So that's why I tried it and, you know, stopped myself out like an idiot. It's okay. Then rotating down through here, right? Once you got through that overnight low, that flush, you really, I mean, at this point, trailing out, 19,000 probably would have been your out if you trailed this thing super tight. That was really, really nice, clean breakdown. Once, twice, 3 times here. Once, twice, 3 times. We are now in a market where it looks like we are... Oh, Carlos, message retracted. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. The only thing I think about as far as targets and stuff is have those as loose targets. Have them as areas where you're in it and you're just, you know, if you have a really good idea of like that's probably exactly where it's going to make a decision to turn around, you could set a TP there and just don't care whatever happens afterwards. Like that's what I do pretty much. I look to just trail out, and if I get my full take profit, then cool. Like, but that's, I don't ever really want to hit my full take profit. I want my full take profit to be, you know, all the way down to this purple box, and I'm just trailing appropriately according to price action that I see around my key levels. And if I can let it breathe a little bit, there's just good. Your opening position is negative 400 or plus 1,000. Yeah, pretty much. That's all I do. You can see, I mean, I'm consistently, we're making $200 a day. Like I said, if we could do that across a couple accounts and then have a couple banger days, today could have been one of those days. Yesterday could have been one of those days. I just, it is what it is. I just take what I take and I don't get upset when it does what it wants to do. 19,000, nice round number for it to turn around at here. If you got close to it, you should probably have been trailed out by now. If it's going to continue down, if you have some sort of grand magic 8-ball that you can hold it longer, then good on you. But you probably don't want to be giving back 20 plus points in a really good move like that, where the next little piece down might not, your risk to reward now is not so great. So if you are trailing, maybe this pullback's great. Maybe, you're looking to do something on it. But I'm locked out. I'm here to just provide nice color commentary. I'll probably stay on until 10:30 today. It's a nice day out here. Probably going to try and take the kids to the pool in a little bit after breakfast and do some stuff on my day off, making it a nice little day. See if this retest here leads to a rollover, if it's going to break back above. Is this going to be now the rotation back to the other side of it? We don't know. I'm all done trading for the day, so it doesn't matter what it does to me. But for you, maybe look to see if this overnight high does pop, overnight low does pop. If the S&Ps gets above it, start to look for that rotation the other way from that 19,000 psychological number. But looking at these plays, they worked out 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. If you had the proper risk on them or the proper entries, wait for the proper entry, then you would have been just fine, just like Scott, just worried about how much more he could have made instead of worrying about stopping yourself out and getting yourself locked out of an account, right? So do yourself a favor, make sure that you have a plan before you get in, understand your risks. Like, I may start adding in some continuations. We'll see what I decide on my other account, but right now we're just going to keep sticking to the plan. As I mentioned today, we are in a little bit of a downtrend still. I mean, we haven't really come out of the downtrend in this. So any sort of day where we open up on that overnight high right here, right? We open up on that overnight high, the likelihood of the rotation back the other direction, because that real big extension from the overnight low, extension from VWAP, most of the time, unless this is on news and we're gapping and going, you're going to get this return back down this way towards the overnight lows. So this is another part of my strategy, the A+ setup here. I had the entry right up here. I mean, if you guys were involved in that and you were able to be a little more risk averse and allow this thing to breathe a little bit, you do have that entry. I mean, that's where we took our trades. You could see our entry criteria. I'll set them on there so you can see, so you'll believe it. If you were not here earlier, oops, copy trading, dismiss. You can see all of our entries are right around there, right? I took this first immediate one. If it was going to break and go, I was going to be involved. I took off a nice clean move there. Took the second breakdown, trailed out there again. And then I got stopped. My real issue about trailing this is I got stopped right there I took the entry at 79 and I got out at 80, 75. No, that was not right. I got in here and out there. In at 90, out at 80. In at 80, out at 90. Sorry. My this is weirdly set up. But I got bottom ticked. Then it came up, whipped me out, and then rotated down. So didn't front run it up here. Could have took the short from that break of the overnight high and rotated down. We did take the third time through and broke it. So we ended up taking this move right here from there down. And for some reason, VWAP is showing wrong. Down to that low, got stopped out at 72 right here on the reaction of that trend line. So honestly, our entry was perfect. Everything there was good. Got stopped out here. And you can see we've since just continued to rotate all the way through. I would have easily been stopped out of VWAP. I'm not saying I would have caught this whole move, but calling that top for you guys so you can understand how to kind of really decipher what's going on with the market, right? So if I could let these things breathe a little more, that's when he's going to start seeing these really, really big days. You're going to start to see an acceleration in the growth of these accounts. But right now, like I said, I'm willing to just take my base hits, copy trade it across 2, 3 2 or 3 accounts, right? Once these new combines come in, I'm going to start working them on, oil and gold and stuff, and see what kind of strategies work there, and then just maximize the leverage on the copier. If I just proved concept of instead of making 2,700, I'm up just shy of 6,000 across 2 accounts, right, for the month. So then if I can do that times 5, you can see the actual math there. That's 10, 15, 15K. That's very whippy. NVIDIA is still just holding below that 106. Down here at 105.25-ish. Lots of moves to be had here. We talked about every single one of them and when they would have happened, why they would have happened, if you wanted to have them executed. Like I said, I stick to my A+ strategies. I don't do... What's up, man? You're stopping gin. Oh, man. No gin? Oh, I caught that. Don't think I didn't catch that. Not gin this early, I promise. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, is it on the wrong screen? Where am I at? Oh, man, I talked about this whole thing and I was on the wrong screen. Thanks, Carlos. My bad. I didn't have it on the correct screen. There you go. Back on that screen. So I was talking about all this and then I didn't show it, but all of our executions were up here at the high of the day. Like I said, I'm not the one who's holding all the way to the end of the day or anywhere. Hell yes. It's 5 o'clock. Stein grab is always grabbing Steins out here. 5 o'clock somewhere. We are not going to catch this whole move personally. Like I said, I'm a quick in and out kind of catch my quick hit and run kind of trader. And realistically, we were done really quick, like in less than 30 minutes. We had our profit targets kind of good and got. We called the top of the day. The reason I circled this here is because, like I said, we opened at overnight highs. We had that perfect setup for that breakdown of the overnight high. We started to get the divergence between that and the S&Ps. S&Ps made it right up to the top of the previous day high, right? And I said, if we can get here and reject this level right there on the S&Ps, then that level is going to confirm our breakdown this way on our NQ. So we watch for those divergences. We watch for that level. You got it. We caught it. We made our money on it. We got stopped. We got stopped out on our trail. And then as we approach these levels, it's not part of my A+ strategy. It's middle of the range, middle of levels. So I'm not executing on this, but I talked about how much these, when you're in a trend, we're in a downtrend where we're currently seeking lower levels. Where we had this buyer come in on the overnights that wasn't necessarily propped up by anything. So the rotation back the other way made a lot of sense to kind of clean up that overnight low. So the trend line cracks were likely to work right here. Then we talked about this one being at the previous day low and the S&Ps not quite making it there. So let me get back to the S&Ps. S&Ps was up higher. S&Ps was right here when we had this. I said if the S&Ps can break down here and approach this overnight low and overnight, previous day low, then you're going to get the follow through on that down to the overnight low. So the short here would make a lot of sense. And then now you're getting into the weeds here of a psychological level of 19,000. The low of 2 days ago was 19,041. So that level there could act as either a spot where we want to get back above and then rotate up, or we're going to come back and down and fail. So these are things you have to think about, through my John Madden drawings here. And then boom, and Tough Hartington acting kicks in the clutch. And that's what you're going to get. Your John Madden teleprompter drawings. So that's the thought process behind everything. Another great green day for us here. I'm not going to stay on past 10:30, I don't think. I'm not going to look for anything here. This is already pretty much, I've given you once, twice, 3 times good setups, told you all these levels, gave you the opportunity to make your money. Try to start evaluating levels for yourself. Try to find your divergences. Find what's going to make you successful long term. And like I said, for me, it's taking those base hits. It's taking that profit curve up and to the right. For the month of July, right, we're here right around that 3K mark across 2 different accounts. So the amount of your ability to leverage these trades on copiers, right? I only have them on 2 accounts, and I have my 100K separate, which I'm kind of fucking around with and not keeping in a great, that account's a little bit in drawdown. But these accounts that we execute our plan every single day on, we're making our money and moving on, right? Make your money, move on. Make your money, move on. Figure something out that's going to work for you. If you stick to your strategy, you stick to your plans, you're going to make money long term. You just have to be so dedicated to it. You got to be like AK over there in the pre-market, finding the crap, shorting it off that upper band of VWAP, doing what you got to do, getting it done, and making your money before the market's even open. And then you can find other opportunities, build on other things, do what you need to do in order to be successful, right? And for me, I'm going to just leverage into 2 more 50Ks and just try and copy across 4 and then have the 100K separate. And once I get those all set up, we're going to be in pretty good shape, right? Because if you can do this every single day, and like I said, compound it across a couple accounts, you're going to see your growth start to get exponential. But if you've never passed the combine, if you've never done anything like this before, if you're still in that stage where you need to pass combines, if you're still in that stage where maybe you passed the combine, but you haven't seen consistent trading opportunities, you haven't seen consistent behavior out of yourself, you need to set it up for yourself to succeed. So focus on that one account. Don't worry about copy trading. Don't worry about a bunch of other accounts. Don't waste your time on a bunch of combines that you're going to pass or fail if you maybe got lucky to pass that first one because you oversized, over leveraged, and did what you needed to do to pass it, but you didn't build good trading habits. I don't want to encourage that behavior. I want you to understand that you can be good on one account and make a whole lot of money if you just are patient and let your setup come to you and let the market tell you what to do instead of looking, don't have the FOMO of this entire move. I locked myself out. That's what that notification is. I'm going to show it to you again just to kind of remind you what it looks like. Manual lockout. This account has been manually locked out. This is something that Top Step has built into their platform. Another reason why, I love Quant Tower and I love everything about the platform and all of that, and being able to not have to go back and forth on screens, having auto-populated, stuff like that. I have a lot of other, like the depth of the market, surface, almost looking like a book map. I got my level 2s here. I pay for this. This is my personal brokerage. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of features here on Top Step X that give you that little bit of an edge to avoid the mental blocks that come with trading. The mental blocks of not being able to avoid over trading, not being able to avoid the FOMO and all that stuff. I want to be a one and done a day trader, right? And this manual lockout allows me to do just that, right? If I get to a point, an hour in and change, I'm already up to a point where if I just walk away for the day, if I had this across, this is across 2 accounts, I'm making $500 across 2 accounts. $450 across 2 accounts. If I do that every single day, I'm going to be just fine in this world, right? So lock yourself out, do yourself that favor. Immediately when you click this button, you get that weight lifted off your shoulders. Okay, I have secured what I won today. Or if you're in small drawdown, to prevent that large drawdown, that full max drawdown, that max lockout, lock yourself out before you get there. That's a psychological victory, right? If you're not seeing your setups, if you're moving away from your zones, if you're starting to see a big trending market, much of what I do is I don't want to see a huge trend. I want to see the rotations that we saw today. This is exactly what I want to see out of a market for me to get my A+ opportunity pretty much right off the jump. And then if I have an account where I can just set it and forget it, then that's a different story. And that's kind of what I wanted to do in the 100K, and I kind of got away from it and didn't allow it to breathe as much. So that's just on me to not do that again, right? And just allow it to go. But at the end of the day, use the benefits of these accounts, of the prop firms, allow them to work for you, leverage them to your advantage, and don't overdo it, right? Allow yourself to do it. Base hit, build one account at a time. Understand passing one combine at a time. Yeah, you're going to hit it it's going to happen, especially when you don't set a max loss down for yourself. I have a $500 personal daily drawdown. You can see right there on the top, that $500 daily drawdown limit. If you can see it, it's right next to, my realized P&L, unrealized P&L, and PDLL. That's my personal daily loss limit. I set it to 500. So if I hit off on a $500 loser, I'm locked out of the account. I can't trade this. It won't allow me to do that. You can see the balance and that this is the leader because I'm copying it across one. It's leader plus one. And then I have you can see right here, the personal loss limit here. I hit that $500 personal daily loss limit on this account because I tried to do a little something on it. It didn't work out. But I'm okay with that because I understand the risk to reward that tomorrow I can come out on that 100K, get myself back green and back into a really good momentum because I'm trying to use that account as more of a bigger trade type idea. And like I said, I'm going to try and get 2 more 50Ks, just kind of still using the same strategy that we got going on. Then we'll copy trade across 4. And then you just start to see things start to scale and scale and scale. I'm eligible for a payout now that we have here we'll go to the dashboard. This is the profit curve as of yesterday. You can see this is across 2 accounts. Just taking your base hit. You have a nice winning day. Move that up to the right. Taking your base hits. Just a nice, steady, clean up into the right profit curve. We've won 92% of our days. We only lost 1 day last month or this month in July. If I don't execute any trades tomorrow, it's still all good. Made all my, trades up into here. We're right up at that threshold, that 3K threshold there about. We have to hit 5 winning days of $200 plus, which today puts us into the eligibility to get a payout, all the green check marks. So hopefully you can, that loss limit has a 100% helped. I think overall that loss limit and the daily lockout button are 2 huge things that really eliminate a lot of people's FOMO, and it gets rid of a lot of that the bullshit, right? It keeps you from don't do dumb shit. Don't do dumb shit. That's the name of the game. And the don't do dumb shit shop has been activated here on Day Trading Coffee Co. So if you want to grab yourself a don't do dumb shit tee or don't do dumb shit mug like Scott has and a few others, head over to daytradingcoffeeco.com and grab yourself. We have the Inspirational Bull, who's also slightly a little more subtle doing his don't do dumb shit. He's holding his don't do dumb shit mug in there. So pretty solid setup. If you want the don't do dumb shit tee, we have it in multiple black, gray and white, dark gray, light gray, white, and black. So your choice of color. But in the chat room, we decided that we should probably make a shirt. So it's here, ready to go. Don't do dumb shit tee. Lock yourself out. I might make a lockout button t-shirt as well to prove concept that if you can get yourself into the habit of locking yourself out mentally, so really my strict rules for myself is I only trade 8:30 to 11 every single day, or maybe a little bit past 11 if I have the opportunity, if it's really setting up. Oh, hell yeah. Log out to rock out, baby. Hell yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm guessing the don't do dumb shit is going to be a hit. But like I said, for me, the big thing is that the rules that I hit, the don't do dumb shit is really dumb shit is going and trading pre-market. Really dumb shit is trading while I'm at work. Really dumb shit is trading on my phone when I don't have all the data in front of me. Really dumb shit is trading from like noon to 1 when there's just price in the middle of a range, or trading away from my levels is when I do dumb shit. If I trade away from my levels, if I trade on a day where there's a hurricane, that's when you do dumb shit, right? So like I'm saying, it's just don't do dumb shit. And that's how you stay successful in this long term. Oh yeah. You ran out of your Day Trading Coffee Co. company coffee. You're using Summer Moon until your order comes in. That's, it's sometimes you got to use other people's coffee. It's okay. Your order's on the way, Scott. It should be delivered at some point soon. It's out for delivery, so it should be delivered shortly. You'll get your refill and you'll be just fine. re-energized, refueled, ready to go for your trading journey. So as I mentioned, I'm going to probably get off here 10:30-ish right now. Unless anybody has any other questions, comments, concerns, anything that they want to talk about, anything they want to see, what charts they want to see. Maybe I want to look at AMD. Maybe you want to look at NVIDIA. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I'm going to click this copy link, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to post it in here. What does this do? Can you see my stats? There we go. Somebody click that link. Let me know what it brings up. Does it bring up this screen that I have here? So it brings up my stats. So that's going to show you transparency. I'm allowing you to see everything that I'm doing on this account. Everything I do here, every trade, everything I'm doing is going to show you on that link. So I like that. That helps with transparency. If somebody's like, "Hey man, you're not really doing this stuff," here, go ahead, click my link, check my notes. You know, you're allowed to see it. You can go in and click that button and see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis. Am I lying to you? No, I'm here. I'm executing live every day. Everybody here pretty much knows that. If I'm on Instagram and somebody wants to question it, I'll send them this link then, and they can go ahead and take a look at what I have going on with this account. And does it let you get into the other accounts or just this single one? I'm pretty sure there's a way to rename this account. It said they were just talking about it. Let's see. Can I rename the account? Just the one. Okay. Charts and data. Privacy. Miscellaneous. Copy trading. I gotta find out how the check mark on the pull down when you switch accounts. So let's see. We're here. All right. Nice. I see it. Thank you, sir. Oh, name of the stream account so people can know that that's that. And I'll say 50K follower. Failed breakout. Strategy. It didn't work. There we go. Says it on the top. There we go. Sweet. Thank you, Steingraber. I appreciate it. I like to speak like a Steingraber. Post in YouTube. All right, Scotty. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, your coffee's on its way. Should be delivered. Let's find out. I'll get you tracking right now. Shipped. Expected Thursday. Thursday you'll get it. So you don't have to live without the coffee. You don't have to think. Oh, the link. Oh, sorry. Here's the link. There you go. Click that. That's my stats page for this account. Today's win percentage, 75%. We took 4 trades, lost 1. That really should have never been a loser. I just was slightly tight on my stop on it. All good. Another great day out here. We can continue to have our average winning trades bigger than our average losers, right? 171 on the average win, 159 on the average lose. But our best trade 3 times as much as our worst trade. So we're here. We're, just making sure that our biggest trades are bigger, much bigger. Yeah, that's fine. Just the one is all I need. I mean, it's really all you need is just that one account, because that's really what I'm showing the discipline on. This is the account that I'm trading every single day, the most serious, the most focused on this account, sticking to the strategy, one trade at a time. Today we took 4 trades. You could see went up 280, took that one loser, and then went right back on up to 228. Could have caught a lot more on some of these other moves. But like I said, I am totally content on sticking with my strategy, allowing my trailing rules to take place. I have set plans before I execute. So when I do that, if I execute towards my plan, there's nothing else I could do except for look at the charts, maybe adjust the plan for tomorrow, and just kind of see where we can go from here, understand the dynamics of what we can do. As I mentioned, tomorrow is Fed rate cut, Fed rate hold day. The big thing is going to be that's at 1 o'clock. I think during the day we're going to get very similar price action, a lot more muted move. They could bid it up, or they could sell it off in hopes that they get some sort of surprise cut. I doubt it. I think they're going to get some more guidance into tomorrow, into September's decision. So right now we're kind of just waiting on that. Realistically, like I said, we are just here trying to take advantage of small little pieces of a big move every single day. Proving concept here for you on stream, allowing you the opportunity to not copy what I do. I'm not a signal service. I'm not out here just, providing you do this now. I'm not going to give you those things, right? I'm not giving you that. I'm giving you the tools so you can succeed on your own and keeping you company by just rambling on about nonsense and doing dumb shit and all that fun stuff. So if you are in any way interested, I will copy that too. This is just to have in the chat. You can post that. You can have that in there. If anybody's interested, Releasing Pips, 15% off as always. The write-up is in there as well. Click around, explore the website. I use that as basically the place where I put everything trading-wise that I'm going to be offering. Now, I stream live on Tradecaster every single morning, 8:30 till 11. Any sort of information that you need moving forward, I always post on Instagram at Policing Pips as well, and at Day Trading Coffee Co. Follow us at Day Trading Coffee Co. for any special offers, new releases, all that fun stuff. And we post pretty quality coffee content, I think. Look out for education on some coffee education. I like to post here and there about differences in coffees, differences in roast, differences in grind size, and kind of just giving people a little bit better of an understanding of there's more to coffee than just getting it and filling it with a bunch of milk and not tasting it. If that's your bag, that's your bag. But for us, I drink pretty much everything black. You can see here I have my little bit of a brew right now. This is my Prop Shop Ethiopia. I brewed that today in a small little pour over. So cheers to everybody. Scott says it the best. Camaraderie is the best. Trading is a game you play against yourself, but it's nice to have other people to talk to about it. And you would have never found it without my stream. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Absolutely. This is what it's all about. Yeah, it's such a lonely game, especially like the old school trader mentality where you were in a pit, you were at places, you were on a floor, you're at a desk, you had people around you that you can kind of work off of. And now in the internet age, a lot of people have gone away from that. Everybody's alone. They're in their their own personal, their house, their office, their apartment, whatever, trading from a laptop, trading from a phone. You don't have the ability to bounce off everything off of everybody else. So having Tradecaster and having this stream and everything about it, it builds that camaraderie. It builds a community. And I mean, honestly, we went up to New York, and the show out that we had in that meetup with everybody was fantastic. I mean, we went to the rooftop. We had a good time. There was so much good trading conversations going on that day. And I think the more we can do things like that, and obviously my plans for Day Trading Coffee Co. has something like that in mind, right? Building that community around coffee, around trading, around Tradecaster. I think Tradecaster is here to stay. I think Deck does a great job with it. He's trying to expand it every single day, giving everybody opportunities. So I am going to get an affiliate link at some point. I got to message Deck about it. When I get that, I will post it. If you do want to sign up for Tradecaster, don't be afraid to use my my stuff. It'll be cool. And we will start to build the community more. If you start to know people that you want to get involved in this community, who want to get involved with the Tradecaster world, and be in the lobby, be in the chat room, be involved day-to-day basis. At some point when it gets big enough, we'll have meetups, we'll have giveaways, we'll have all these things as far as my room is concerned. And, I really think that everybody, I have a Discord. I haven't set it up great. I have 2 Discord servers that I have. I need to clean them up and get them like appropriately set up. I'm not like all these other people who want to make money off of this as far as like selling it to people, selling the education. Do I think I can make money that way? Yeah. Could I be some sort of like furu guru where I could sell courses and stuff like that? And people are like, oh, you're selling your Discord room, or you're selling your trading bot? Or I don't want to be known as that. I want to be out here trading. I want to be on the stream so I could show transparency when I do stupid shit, when I don't do dumb shit. When I do stick to my plan, the results that you can get by just sticking to your plan, you can see it here. So really it's free. So Tradecaster's free to sign up, 7-day free trial. When I get the link, you can go sign up or whatever. I'll let you know when I get my new link. My room is free for now until it gets bigger. And then the paid rooms do make a lot of sense. There's a lot of education in there. You do get a lot of benefits from the paid rooms. If you go into, say, some of these rooms and we're calling out good plays, giving you a good education, giving you that building block to keep that accountability maybe. If I go to a paid room in Tradecaster or when I go to a paid, whenever it becomes that, I'm going to provide a lot more value to that room than just being here and streaming and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing my best to just providing as much value as possible, giving things away, doing a lot of giveaways, building a community, having meetups, and having some of whatever that paid room builds into, and then move from there, right? Like right now, I don't get paid to stream. I'm just here out of my desire to kind of be helpful for other people. Yeah, so you can, when you're in the Tradecaster room, you could always go into my room and chat, and that chat stays there pretty much all the time. So that's another benefit of the Tradecaster room. I think I will set up the Discord. When I get the Discord set up correctly and not all messy the way it is, maybe I'm just going to delete the old ones and then just reset it up. I don't mind. Like I said, I think we could build a nice little community within the Tradecaster. Into a Discord, and I'll work on that during the weekend. I'll work on the community because I have the Policing Pips trade team here. I will pull that onto the screen. This is old. This is just some of the stuff that I used to post, education links, group chat, fundamental stuff. I'm going to just wipe it all clean. And then once I get it all set up, I'll send it out. I'll send the link out. I deleted it off the YouTube because I had people joining and stuff. I also have this other one, this one here, that also is the same thing. And I don't know what I did. I was trying to double it, and I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. I don't have like the gaming background that a lot of people do, where they streamed games and now they have Discords and all that stuff. So I don't have it, but I will set it up this weekend, get it to be a lot better. Maybe I'll go through a YouTube video on how to set up a Discord server better, and then I'll send out that link. If I could do that tonight or something, maybe I'll do that. Like I said, we're up another green day, straight green, straight up to the right. This is the kind of profit curve you want to see. It's a healthy profit curve up and to the right. You don't want to be doing that too much of oversized losses, right? So I have nice winners, and then I flatten out with, base hits, and then I have another bigger winner, like a nicer wins. And then you flatten out base hits, another nicer win, same ding here, right? And then as you start to build, right, this should look almost like an Apple chart or a Bitcoin chart, right? In the early phases, I want to see this nice and flat. I want to see some good, healthy price action on my personal account, right? I want to see it build up and to the right. I want to keep building on the successes that I'm having of sticking to my A+ setup, taking my money when it comes. And then when it really melts off and I really get a chance to take that trade and milk it for everything that it's worth, I usually do that, right? That's what that day was right there. I was able to milk that for whatever it was worth. Today, maybe a little bit, we could have got a little more, but I'm not upset about it, right? We continue to stick to the plan because that next time that I do have the opportunity to pull that much more out of the market, I will, and I'm going to, do everything that I can to just keep pushing this up and to the right. If I can get these two account balances to about 5K, that leaves you a really good buffer to start now scaling up, right? Instead of now taking one contract, maybe I leverage up to two. I'm probably not going to switch to two contracts until I do get these account balances into that 5,000 to 6,000 range, even after a payout, right? So let's see, whatever happens the rest of this week, I'm going to take the payout, and then I'm going to walk you through how that payout process works. We're already eligible for it. I'm not too concerned about, what I'm going to pay out. I'm just going to see how much I can take out. Pretty much everything that I make the rest of the week is going to be probably what I withdraw. So I'm going to just try and build this up more and more and more. And then every time I take a withdrawal, I'm going to either take a little less or try to build up the account a little bit more. So I just keep taking the same amount, out, right? So the goal here is to kind of I would love to be on that hot streak, top hot streak list for Top Step, being in that 30, 40, 50, 50 straight days, 60 straight days of fucking green, right? If I could do that and not have the big pullbacks, that equity curve goes up and to the right. And then the big days, like I said, you get another big day in there, boom, $1,000, a $2,000 day, a $1,500 day, a $5,000 day, that moves that up and to the right. Then you can start to leverage into size and start continuing on feeling the market. The only thing I need to change is once I get to a buffer where I can, have my daily drawdown a little bit bigger and not take a big hit in my account balance, is I can just scale up contracts, right? If I can consistently do this every single day, like I'm showing you, it's possible. You can do this every single day. You're going to have a loser here and there. Keep those losers really small because every single day you can come out here and make 200, 300, 500, 400, 1,000, $50. Take the money, move on, and then trade for tomorrow. As I mentioned, confluence equals confidence. Don't do dumb shit, and you'll be just fine. Wait for your levels to come into play. Allow your setups to come in, and you're gonna be okay. And here it is again, another wedge trend line break. It's just like clockwork. If you're in a trend, it's likely to work. If you're fighting trends, it's probably not going to work. You could see this coming into here being the rejection point. I know I said I was going to get off at 10:30. I'm still talking. We're not. I just love this community that we're able to kind of build here together. So I have a hard time getting off. But like I said, at the end of the day, just stick to your plans. Don't do dumb shit. Everything's going to be all right. As long as nobody's got anything else, like I said, I'm willing to stay on here till 11, normal time. Throw your questions out. I haven't executed since that and this on the 100K. I had the right idea here, just didn't time it correctly, and it's all right. It's just kind of more of I had a secondary look at it, and that's what happens when you don't have a full-on plan for it, or you do have a full-on plan for it, but you don't have your whole focus set on it. You're not going to do great. So just make sure you're focused. Don't do dumb shit. Allow your plays to play out. If you lose, you lose. Move on to the next trade and carry on with your life. Like I said, I'm just working on building this account slowly but surely, waiting to see if anybody else has the questions, comments, concerns. Let me know. Otherwise, we're going to get off here in 1 minute. So let it be known. Speak now or forever hold your speak. I know that's not the terms, but I just make up shit. You can watch this. You got it, brother. I appreciate you coming by. I'm glad you were able to finally get on a stream. Also good to note that you kind of saw what we see on a day-to-day basis. Our strategy works out. If we wait for those levels to come into play, you're going to be able to limit your risk, have good opportunities, make your money. You already got a pass account, pass another one, start copy trading, build your account buffer slowly. And then as you start to as you start to build it up, scale up, leverage these accounts, take your payouts, and just do it every single day. You're in this for the long term, and that's how it's going to stay. The only one. All right, go to bed, Scott. I will see everybody tomorrow, same time, same place, 8:30 a.m., tradecaster.com, YouTube. Head over to Policing Pips on Instagram. I'll always message you back if you message me there. I post my streaming schedule on. If I'm not able to get on a stream, if something happens, I will post it on Instagram or on Twitter. If I say I'm not going to tweet, I don't tweet that much, but I will tweet if I'm not going to be on stream or whatever. And follow at Day Trading Coffee Co. Go over to the website, click the links. You'll get the education, the weekly write-ups. Those are always free. Get some coffee. Fuel your trading adventure. Use code PolicingPips for 15% off always. And until tomorrow, I will talk to you all then. Peace.